Hey Bookish Babes, and welcome to my book nook.
We are monsters. We give and we take.
For those that are new around here, the name's Rainy. I read all different types of books, primarily fantasy romance. So if you're interested in that, please like and subscribe to my channel down below. It really helps my channel grow. And my lovely daughter Eloise is here again because she never lets me film on my own. And I technically was supposed to film this video last night while she was asleep after the sprints that I did with my friends Brittany and Kelsey, but we stayed behind the scenes for 2 hours until 2 in the morning and talked. So, that didn't happen, but it's fine. Anyway, if you're new, we're doing the one with the TBR, which is my fun TBR game that I did base off of the Friends trivia game. Like that's, you know, the episode where they're fighting for their apartment and to get rid of the chick and the duck. I'm not going to explain exactly how this all goes because, you know, I've been doing this game for a while. I have a playlist down below of all the different things because the games have evolved a little bit over the time. But basically, I will let you know there's 4 categories and the different post-it note colors, which I'm going to revamp this board this month. The different post-it note colors are different genres. And so we have blue for thriller and horror, pink for romance, yellow is my choice, like mood read, orange is like historical fiction / literary fiction, actually green is thriller and horror, blue is fantasy. And so that's how that goes. And then I have my challenge prompts over there. And so with that, we're going to do 6 rolls like we normally do. We might have a 7th depending if I don't do well in the lightning round. And then I have my 4 categories as well. Fears and pet peeves is authors I've read from before. Ancient history is new to me authors. Literature is series. And then it's all relative is like topical picks / books I need to read for a TBR / friend picks, like that sort of deal. So anyway, before we do that though, let's talk about how last month went. And it's not going to be a very pretty picture. So I was supposed to read Beartown. I don't remember what these prompts were for, okay? I just remember the books. I was supposed to read Beartown. I didn't get to it. I didn't foresee myself getting to this because I know I'm going to have to be in a mood to actually read this book, and I'm just not right now. So, of course, I didn't even try to get to Beartown. The Crown of Oaths and Curses, I'm rolling over into June because I'm going to be reading this for Romanticathon, so like I'm going to get to this. I just haven't read it yet. I'm very excited, very eager to get to this. So even though the author has been getting in some hot water with like her second release for this, but you know what? That's just not my problem right now. But anyway, I will be rolling this over. I don't know where my copy of Take My Hand by McKay Marie went, but I was supposed to read that as well. Definitely for under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads, I'm pretty sure. Did not get to that. Do I still want to get to that? Yes, but I'm not really in a rock star romance right now, like mood, so it's fine. I also did not read Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I never expected to read that either. I'm not really in my contemporary romance era at the moment, but you know what? It's okay. Everything's fine. I also didn't read Fortuna Sworn, if we're being honest. I want to read that, but that is not a priority fantasy romance read for me at the moment. Do you see a pattern? I didn't read any of the books I was supposed to read. I also did not get to the Hacienda, but I am reading this within the next day or 2 because I actually do need to finish this book. Like, I very much need to. I have a couple of books next month that I need to do for a secret project, so like this is being rolled over into the end of this month / beginning of next month. I had said I was going to read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. However, I've moved that over to July, I'm pretty sure, because me and Kelsey are going to be doing a buddy read for that, so I'm not worried about that right now. I'm supposed to be reading Gathering of Shadows right now, which is the second book in A Darker Shade of Magic with Katie and Danny. We're on day 3. I haven't started it yet because I'm still trying to finish Air of Fire, which we'll get to in a minute. But I'm reading that. That's going to be rolled over because we're half reading it in May, half reading it in June. As far as Crown of Midnight and Air of Fire go, Crown of Midnight I finished. Air of Fire, I have 90 pages left. So I will be finishing this today, and this is a chunky book, okay? I read this in like 3 days essentially because I needed to get this ish done before the end of the month. As far as When the Moon Hatched, my own book club read that I'm supposed to be done with in 5 days, I'm on page 384 out of 698. I am tabbing it. I'm living my best life. I'm going to prioritize reading that today and tomorrow. I'm prioritizing everything. Don't you get it? To Bleed a Kingdom was DNF'd / got rid of by Tori's book club, and so instead we're supposed to be reading Lady of Darkness, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. I do own it. It's very chunky. I want to read it. Funny story I didn't get to either because I am on hold from Libby still for like 11 weeks, and Kelsey told me to hold off because the audio is really, really good, and so I'm just gonna trust her. So if the Everflame was on my list, and I'm waiting actually now to do a buddy read on that with Katie and Sarah, so like a lot of these got pushed back for buddy reads, and I'm not even a little bit sad about it. Playing the Shadow Prince, I moved over to Tar because the Amazing Readathon because I'm just doing a lot of that during that time. It's a Cassidy favorite. I'm also reading it for Romanticathon. A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire was pushed back because Brittany and I both have a million reads to finish before the end of the month, so we honestly just didn't have time to read it. It's such a big book, and I don't even remember what happened in From Blood and Ash. I would have had to reacquaint myself, so we're going to do that buddy read. I actually don't know when. And then Dragon Fruit, I just didn't get to, okay? But like, does that surprise anyone? I didn't get to that. So anyway, those are like all the books that I did or didn't get to, and I didn't get to a lot of them, and I'm currently reading a few of them, and I finished maybe 1 or 2 of them. But you know, I was reading books. I just wasn't reading the books that I set out to read. So now we're just going to start with our rolls and see where the journey takes us. And I really pray that this month is kind to me, because I already know what books I have to read. I have specific ones, which if I didn't say already, I'm primarily participating in the amazing Readathon in June, which is run by Bri, the lovely Bri from 4 Paws in a Book, so I will link her video down below. But basically, it's a bunch of different teams, which are by genre, competing in this amazing race style thing where we get 10 prompts over the course of 30 days, and they're dropped at random times. You don't know what the prompts are in advance, and you have to figure out a book to read as you go, and if you finish it early, you can do sightseeing prompts that you actually know what the prompts are. They're for a specific amount of points between 1 and 500. So any book that I choose today, I'm praying will work for a prompt, but I don't actually know if it will work for a prompt. And then I'm also going to share some of the sightseeing ones and like other books outside of this that I'm going to be reading for the month. So let's get started with roll 1. So 42 is actually right here. It's the first one under Fears and Pet Peeves. So this is authors I've read from before, and it has to be a romance. All right, but it also has to do a book that intimidates you. A romantic book that intimidates me? Sure, that was not on the agenda, but I'll come back with something. I picked a short-ass book because short books can be intimidating, okay? And the one that I picked is The Dare by Harley LaRue. And yes, this is a special edition cover that I got from Dark and Quirky. The reason that this intimidates me is because it was banned from Amazon for a certain amount of time because of the kink in this, I suppose. I don't really know, but this book is only like is that 97? Is that a 6? I don't even know. How many stop it, Eloise. Yeah, this is like 97 pages long, okay? Let's see why it says it's so intimidating. Does it have, oh goodness. There is so many triggers. Like, I'm not going to read them so that I don't get, like, censored. But yeah, so this is my choice. It's a little daunting, but I'm excited to finally get to it because I do also want to read The Losers by Harley LaRue, and you have to read this first, or at least it's recommended to read this first. So that will be my first book on the TBR. Nice and thin. Thank you. All right, on to roll 2. So 33 is ancient history, which means it has to be a new to me author, and it has to be a fantasy, which is great. I have a lot of fantasy romance that I want to put onto the TBR this month. However, we're going to have to see if the gods bless me or not. All right, we got read a book that's been on your TBR for at least 2 years. Okay, so a fantasy book that's been on my TBR for 2+ years. Now, it might be difficult because I really didn't get into my fantasy era until like 1.5 years ago. So I might have to fudge this and just pick the one that's been on my TBR the longest. I'll come back to you. I originally had picked a book that I'm supposed to be buddy reading with Kelsey and Neva, and then realized that that is an author that I already know, and this has to be a new to me author. So this is an author that I surprisingly have not read from yet, but I've had all of their books on my TBR, and so I am stretching this a little. Let's read a book that's been on your TBR for 2 years, but I went with an author because the book by her that is on my TBR that has been for over 2 years is not the book that I want to read because I tried to read it during Clue and it didn't work, so it's not going to work during the amazing Readathon, and I have to read it this month anyway. And that is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. This is the B&K book club pick for June, and I am actually wanting to read it. It is a historical fantasy. I'm pretty sure that like set in the Spanish Golden Age. And so I don't care if people say that I'm fudging this. I'm making my readathon work for me, okay? I'm making it work. And Eloise wants to hold the book, so she can hold it because that distracts her. But anyway, that is what I am choosing, okay? And if you have a problem with it, then goodbye. So 24 is Ancient History, which is also a new to me author, and it is a yellow, which means it is a mood read / my pick, my choice. Thank God. I need more of those in my life, if we're going to be honest. And then I need to pick a prompt. Let's go with a pink one, because why not? Read a favorite book from a new YouTuber that you've never heard of / not following. What? What do you mean from a new YouTuber that I've never heard of / not following? How do I even do that? I'm like, what do I type in? Book recs? Let's just type in, or no, let's type in favorite books and see what happens. No, I know that person. I know that person. I know that person. I know all these people. I know I've heard of her. I don't I feel like I've... Oh God, I don't know this person, but I don't want to look at his because I doubt that we have the same taste in books. Let's go on to Carla Espinoza. What does she have for me? Okay, does she have any books? Before We Were Strangers, yours truly. Okay, I have that Taylor Jenkins read, and I have Rock, Paper, Scissors. Oh, Magnolia Parks. 1,000 Boy Kisses. Okay. I know what we're gonna go with. I'm not gonna get it off my shelf right now because I don't know where it is. I'm just gonna pop it up on the screen, and I'll put a picture of the girl that I chose from so that you know that I'm actually picking from her. And so the book that I'm going with is Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because I actually do want to read all of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books anyway, and so this works out perfectly. Do I remember what this one is about? No, so let me look it up really quick. Okay, Forever Interrupted is the one where it says, have you ever heard of supernovas? They shine brighter than anything else in the sky and then fade out really quickly. A short burst of extraordinary energy. I like to think that you and Ben were like that. In that short time, you had more passion than some people have in a lifetime. Oh, okay. Apparently, they fall in love within 2 weeks. They elope. 9 days later, he gets hit by a truck and killed. And then she has to face her mother-in-law that she's never met, who doesn't know that she exists. Oh, good Lord. That sounds terrifying. Okay, well, we're going to read it because that's... The prompt was oddly specific. Okay, so 38 is a fantasy under Fears and Pet Peeves, so it is an author that we have read from before. Thank God. I'm really hoping that I can put Queen of Shadows on this because I need to read that book this month. And that was what I wanted to do for the last fantasy that we had to pick from. But I don't know. These prompts are very specific. Ugh. Read a book you know nothing about. Okay, nope, I'm putting that back because if the book is on my shelf, I know something about it. Sorry, I'm not adding new books. I'm just not. I have to read for my physical TBR. Like that is a goal this year. Sorry, that's a goal. Okay, I picked 2. Hold on. Oh, okay. Read a book written by a man. Gosh darn it. I don't even have those many over there. I was really wanting Queen of Shadows. Ugh. I'm like, the only ones that I think I have written by a man I don't want to read this month. I think there's only like 2. We're gonna have to go with Mr. Mark Lawrence for The Book That Wouldn't Burn. I do want to read this, but I have no desire in reading this right now. All it says is 2 strangers find themselves connected by a vast and mysterious library containing many wonders and still more secrets. I don't know a lot about this. I know Danny really liked it. I'm hoping to really like it. I didn't really want to put an almost 600-page fantasy book that I had no interest in reading on the TBR, but you know, things happen like that. This game is not being nice to me. It's not being my friend. 18 is over here in ancient history, a new to me author, and it is a fantasy as well. So we're just getting new to me authors and authors I've read from before. So let's pull a promptity prompt. Okay. Oh, read a book with queer rep. Okay, I can do that. That is something I can do. Let me go look and see what I can find. All of 2 seconds because I realized that I had just bought this manga and I wanted to read it this month anyway. So I'm glad that I get to put it on here. And that, yeah, and it's a new to me author. The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag, which this is a sapphic romance between Morgan and Kelty. I'm pretty sure it's between a girl and a Kelpie. Is that what they call them? Yeah, a Selkie, a girl and a Selkie, which is like a mermaid, mer-woman type of deal. And so I'm actually very interested in that. I'm sure this is going to be beautiful. Brittany has read it. She said it's fabulous. I was hoping to get some of my manga onto the TBR. So you know what? This is the perfect rec for that. On to roll 6. So 19 is It's All Relative, which is on the other side of the board, and it is a yellow white, my choice, thank goodness. And this could be like a book that I really need to read on the TBR, a trending book, whatever I want to make it. So let's pull a prompt. TBR vet. All right, that's not the worst thing in the world, but I can't put any of my manga because none of those are TBR vets. All right, but I get to pick a book that I need to put onto the TBR. Okay, actually. Oh my gosh, this works out perfect. Okay, let me grab it. Thank God I finally got to put Queen of Shadows on here. This is a TBR vet. I've been wanting to read these SJM books for over 3 years, and we're finally reading through the entire series, one book at a time, 1 month at a time, me, Neva, and Kelsey. So we're just finishing Air of Fire, and I hope that this is better, because Air of Fire, not gonna lie, was a little lackluster. It was not as exciting, yet everyone says Queen of Shadows is where it really amps up, and so I'm believing you! I'm believing you! So without forever interrupted, because I can't find that on my shelves right now, this is our stack, which is kind of big. But now I need to see if I'm going to have to add another roll or not by doing the lightning round. Bum, bum, bum! I'm going to be doing the lightning round, which is where, you know, I answer 5 friends' questions within 30 seconds or less, and if I get 3 of them right, I don't have to add a nightmare prompt. So, let me go get my friends game, and we'll get started. All right, I'm getting my 30-second timer set up. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, action. Who did Rachel say Barry looked like? He looks familiar. Oh, I don't know. What kind of phone did Phoebe give to a homeless lady? A cell phone? I don't know. Who did Phoebe sleep with just after Monica broke up with him? I don't know the name of this guy. What did Rachel's father want to give her in exchange for coming home? A boat. Or I think a yacht. What musical did Joey perform in? Oh, it was the one about, like, he was a psychiatrist guy, and he's like, da-da-da-da, with the... This was really bad. This is from, like, the first season, and I haven't watched it in a minute. Mr. Potato Head, a football phone. Jason Hurley, a Mercedes. Freud. Wow, I really failed. I didn't even get one right, and that means that I need to educate and write myself, and I need to watch this series again because this is unforgivable! But because of that, I'm going to have to do a special lightning roll. So let's see what I got. Well, I got green, which green is just add a spin, so I'm going to show one more roll, and we're going to add one more book to this never-ending TBR. Alright, so 41 is It's All Relative, which means it's like trending book I need to put on my TBR, but it needs to be a thriller/horror, which is not the greatest, but I have a couple that I could put in mind for that. Let's just see if the prompts actually work for that. Read a book talk recommendation. Okay, so I guess I just have to go on to book talk, which I guess I can screen record for you, and we're just going to see what comes up first. That is a thriller/horror. Okay, hold on. Thriller, book, rec. Hey.
Out of all the thrillers I've read recently, I'm gonna give you 7 that you should 100% not skip. I'm also gonna go in order from, yeah, these are good, to you literally need to read this.
Oh, well then let's go backwards then. Okay, so what's her last one?
With the housemaid,
I'm
start
not
with
doing
this.
Freedom McFadden. That's not happening.
Engaging the whole way through. It keeps you on your toes. And
Oh, that was, I saw what book that was. That was Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica, which I'm fine. I can put that on my list. I've been wanting to read that, and I think Brittany and Danny just read it and really liked it. I don't know a lot about it. I know that it gets a little out there and a little crazy, but that's totally fine because I've been wanting to read that book. So that is very exciting. So those are the 7 books that I have to read for the TBR, and half of them were planned, half of them were not. And now we're going to talk about other books that are on the TBR because they have to be, / some potentials for sightseeing. I'm not going to tell you every sightseeing book that I plan on reading, but we'll talk about a couple. Okay, so the one that we're reading for our Tortured Readers book club, which is the book club that I host with Katie, that we co-lead together, which we just read When the Moon Hatched For. We are reading Heir of Sun and Moon by Janessa Wren for June, which is a Rapunzel retelling. I don't know a lot more than that. The author is lovely. We're doing a live discussion with her we're on Katie's channel. I Would Rather Be Reading on June 30th, Sunday, June 30th at 2:30 p.m. EST. So definitely set a notification and go over there for that because that discussion is going to be fabulous. And so, yeah, like I said, it's a Rapunzel retelling. I'm very excited. I also get to use it for a sightseeing prompt for 5 words in the title, which is worth 500 points, baby! So yeah, that's exciting. And I need to be reading Happiness Falls by Angie Kim. I need to read it by June 2nd. So technically, I'm reading half of this, or 49% of this, in May, and 51% of this in June, so that I can count it for Amazing Readathon, even though I'm only going to count for half of the points, because I want to be there for the live discussion because she does excellent autism representation. My brothers are both autistic, And so I just want to be able to read this and know what it is all about. But this one is great because I didn't realize this book had footnotes in it. And there is a 500 point one for Read a Book with Footnotes in it. And I thought I was going to have to read the Daisy Hates book, which I'm not ready to read yet. But now I can read this. So I'm very excited. I don't know too much about this. I'm pretty sure it says, when a father goes missing, his family's desperate search leads them to question everything they know about him and one another. And I'm pretty sure that like their autistic son or something is being targeted or questioned. Then I am going to be reading Powerless by Elsie Silver this month for the Chestnut Springs read-along that Claire, Brittany, and Leandra are doing. They read Flawless in April and Heartless in May, and I've already read those. I'm going to put her to sleep in just a second. I haven't read Powerless. I started it last year and then never finished it because I'm not really a big Friends to Lovers girly, but I want to know the hype around Mr. Jasper because I've heard he's fabulous. So anyway, I'm excited to finally get to it, and then I'll actually be able to have a live discussion with all my friends. So that is super exciting. Then I have a couple of books that I have to put on my TBR for secret reasons, and I'm only going to tell you about 2 of them, and I'm not going to tell you why. One is The Hacienda, like we already talked about. And then another is A Court of Mist and Fury, or Akamath by Sarah J. Maas. I have to read this for reasons, and so I'm going to be getting to it this month. I'm a little intimidated because I've heard, that this is the one that everybody loves, and I didn't love ACOTAR. I liked book 1, so I'm interested to see in where that will go. I also want to read Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher because my friends Kelsey, Katie, and Neva, I think, are doing a live stream read of it the day after it releases on June 19th. And so since I loved the final Billionaires or the Disney Billionaires, I can't remember, Dreamland Billionaires series so much. I do like Lauren Asher's writing, and so I really want to get to Love Redesigned, so hopefully I will be able to acquire that soon. Then for Tori's Who Did This To You book club, she had 3 recs that we could have chosen between, and the one that is winning, thank goodness, because it is actually on my Every Romantasy challenge, is Beneath Black Sails by Claire Sager, which I'm very excited about. It's another piratey romance, which I'm in a pirate romance era. I'm having a great time with those. I'm very excited to get to that one. I think it's going to be such a fun time. I really love To Kiss of Iron by Claire Sager, and so I think this one is going to be just as good. But yeah, I'm excited to add that one. This other fantasy romance book club that I keep saying I'm going to do, but I'm not doing. I really do want to read this one. It actually looks really, really good. It's called The Stars Would Curse Us by Valerie Rivers and Stephanie Combs. And I don't know about this. I just know that it has to do about the stars. And it says, we face choices. Love or duty, loyal to or adventure, fight or surrender. Is fate truly written in the stars, or have they abandoned us? It has a 4.59 on Goodreads. I mean, only 117 ratings, but that still sounds very good. So I'm excited to add that nonetheless. And then there are probably other books that I'm missing. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be reading Glow of the Everflame this month with Katie and Sarah, but we haven't pegged down a time for that yet, but I think we're going to be getting to that. And I'm sure there are others that I need to be getting to, but I'm just going to tell you a couple of manga and a couple of books that I plan on reading outside of this for the amazing readathon, and then we're just going to end this little TBR moment. Let's quickly go through some manga that I bought the other day that I'm excited to read. One of them is Yakuza Fiance, which this one, Too Much Love Will Kill You. I know that this is about 2 crime families that end up having an arranged marriage between this guy and this girl. And basically, he is a sadomasochist, apparently, and it just gets really crazy, and apparently you, hate to love him. And I'm a dark romance mafia-esque manga, say a little less, honestly. And then we have this really cute one that I've heard people talk about, and the first 2 books were on sale for $5, so I bought them. And that is the Donuts Under a Crescent Moon manga series by Shio Usi, and it just says it's a yuri romance. That means a female romance, I'm pretty sure, for the modern career woman. And it just looks so cute. I know Gabby Reds loved it and said it was super cute, so I'm excited for that. And then I also have Sweat and Soap, which this one has a very weird premise. I'm pretty sure there's this girl, she works at this toiletry maker shop, and she loves the soap there, hates her body odor, thinks the soap makes her smell better. So when the lead product developer smells her, he realizes that she smells fabulous, and then ends up having a relationship with each other because she smells good. I don't really know, but I've heard this is really good and really cute. And the rest of the series is on sale at the bookstore that I got this from. So if I enjoy book 1, I'll go back for more. And then we have Blue Flag by Kaito, I'm pretty sure. This one says, love is already hard enough, but it becomes an unnavigable maze for unassuming high school student Taichi and his shy classmate Futaba when they begin to fall for each other after their same-sex best friends have already fallen for them. I've heard nothing but fabulous stuff about this, so I'm very excited for that. And then I don't want to be here a million days longer, so I'm just going to show other ones. This one is Happiness. This is a vampire manga. This is not book 1. This is book 7. I have all 7 books, but this is the first one that I grabbed. I'm going to try out one called A Sign of Affection, which I don't know a lot about, but, you know, just giving it a try. I'm going to be reading the Cat and Gamer manga series, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to try Orange, because I've heard good stuff about that. I'm going to try Skip and Loafer. I have a lot more manga to pick up from the store, but yeah, I have that. I have a couple of like smaller books that I want to get to. Like I hopefully want to get to A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow, because this is a Sleeping Beauty short little retelling, and so I've been wanting to read that. But yeah, there's like a bunch of books that I could read, but those are just like a couple of ideas. I have so many, okay? But the TBR is already a million miles long, and I need to start editing it. So this is the TBR. I hope you have a fun time with this. I hope you liked it. If you got to the end of this, let's put a shoe emoji for Skip and Loafer, because that is the first thing that I saw. A shoe emoji. Let me know what is a book that you are excited to read next month. Let me know if you're participating in the Amazing Readathon. What team are you on? I'm obviously on Team Fantasy, because that allows me to read all the fantasy romance books. And also, if you have manga recs, drop them below for me. I'm currently in my manga era, and I'm not even a little bit sad about it, and I really hope that this doesn't tank things on my channel, because, you know, I want to love a good manga. So anyway, with that, I will see you guys in a video very soon.